Hi, Dan Stephen Erickson here, a songwriter. And today I just wanted to talk a little bit about perfection and imperfection. So, as you know, on this channel, I'm just mostly doing one take recordings of the songs that I've written over a lifetime. The reason for that is simple. One, I just want to catalog these recordings, and I don't feel the need to spend hours and hours of time just to catalog the recordings. And two, perfection is overrated. You know, what I'm doing gets the gist of the song down. And if in the future I were to decide to do other versions of it, I would, spend more time. So, and I wanted to relate this to something that's been going on outside of my musical life. And that is, I recently retired from a job I took about a year ago. And it has to do with this very thing of perfection. Now, I've worked in academia for over 25 years, 27, 28. I lost count. And I mean, I worked at one place for 21 years, no complaints, as an instructor who also advised students, right? Never one complaint about my advising. I accidentally advised one student to take my class because he wanted to take every class I taught because he liked me, and thought it would meet one of his credit needs. I was wrong, but it wound up not being a big deal, right? The dean said, yeah, it's cool, and we'll allow it. And he graduated as needed, and I was forgiven without much thought. It was all good, right? So I took this job advising here in Tennessee, and I got to say, I still, there was a learning curve. It was a new school, new programs, but I was picking it up pretty good. Yet there were a handful of people, not most people, but there were a couple people in the network that were upset if I made the smallest of errors, whether it be a request for a permit for a science course, or mentioning to a student that this is a records department situation, and I'm not sure exactly how they work with that, but you can talk to them. I was expected to know stuff that was outside of my base of knowledge in my department by some people, right? I never got a single complaint from any student, from any other from a faculty member, from any other advisor, from any higher administrator. But yet there were 2 or 3 people in around the school that didn't like me for some reason, or didn't think I was good enough because I wasn't always perfect, because I made a few mistakes along the way. But isn't that what happens when we take on new things and we learn? I think that they could learn more from me than they expected of me, based on what I do here. This idea that we don't have to be perfect. We just have to do our best. And that's what I'm doing with this channel and with my music. And things improve in time when you look at things that way. And you become a better artist, a better advisor, a better teacher, whatever it is you do. But if people expect perfection of you, right off the line, they're never going to get it. And if they become critical because you're not perfect enough for them, you don't want to work there. So I saw some issues with a few other people always nitpicking, backbiting. And so I was going to work until June of next year, but I'm retiring as of December 1st. The college, I had leave, so the college is letting me go through November without working. And then I'm going to be, free. I'm already free. I'm already done working there. So, but it's all because people expected perfection, when perfection isn't really a true thing. None of us are perfect, and none of us will ever be perfect. And in fact, I would argue that imperfection is actually a kind of perfection. I know that sounds a little, it's twisted, but it's true. Imperfection is true perfection. It doesn't mean, you do everything wrong all the time, but those little mistakes is actually what makes us human. It makes our music sound more human. It makes everything we do more real. So my take today was just a bit about perfection. Perfection on this channel. Don't expect it. Will it improve in time? Maybe. I might actually get different equipment when I'm probably going to move back to Maine by early next year, mid next year, early spring, early to mid spring. I'll probably get some new equipment. I might upgrade what I'm doing here. I might spend more time rehearsing. Who knows? But I'm never going to aim for perfection. Doesn't really exist. Anyway, that's enough. Dan Steven Erickson, songwriter, and I'll talk to you again soon, and I'll have another song.